70 days until Election Day, and Donald Trump appears to be gaining on Hillary Clinton in the polls. The latest Monmouth survey shows them only 7 points apart as opposed to 13 points earlier this month. Trump's planning a major speech to clarify his position on illegal immigration tomorrow. More on that in a moment. But first, Fox News has learned that the FBI is preparing to release some materials related to its investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails, and it could happen as soon as tomorrow. The White House says it wasn't involved in the decision.
I've seen those reports. I can tell you that the White House did not consult with the FBI about that decision or any of the other decisions that they've made in terms of handling some of the investigative material.
The FBI's director took questions earlier at a cybersecurity conference and at one point actually made a joke about the server scandal.
I'd like to take your questions, and I'm hoping you're going to think up a question that has nothing to do with Secretary Clinton's emails.
Okay. The release of this information will only prolong the email issue for Hillary, and she still has to worry about the scandal surrounding her family's foundation. The New York Times editorial board today said the secretary has an unethical imperative to cut ties with the charity. Okay, so an ethical imperative to cut ties with the charity, Bulling. So that means do it now, don't wait till later. It's problematic. Will it matter, and should it resonate with the voters?
So why cut it now? I mean, you raised $2.5 billion under this, whatever the business arrangement they had going on. Now, all of a sudden, it's going to be unethical to continue. I hope they do continue, and I hope Citizens United continues to produce FOIA requests and produce documents. I hope Judicial Watch continues to. But it took someone, I believe it was either CBS or CNN, that got the FBI to release these. I guess they're going to release these transcripts of the interview. For me, that's going to be the most important thing. Yes, the other stuff is going to be interesting, but there's about 30 pages on that are transcribed into paper. That interview that when they went to Hillary Clinton's house and spent a couple hours with her. I'm dying to know what they asked her. I'm dying to know if they pushed her. I'm dying to know if they were there to
what do you
find
think,
out.
Though, really?
I think they spent an hour or so and said, hey, let me get through these questions. Like, I'm guessing, and this is too early, we shouldn't speculate, but I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of second, going back at it 2 and 3 times. Like, are you sure you didn't, are you sure you didn't do this? Or are you sure you didn't know there was any classified material on these documents? Did you know that they were going to classify them as highly classified later on? Are you sure? Or are you innocent in all this? I'm guessing it wasn't that hard of an interview.
Well, but also the problem is, Greg, no recording, so it's relying on some notes and what was ever, documented.
Yeah, but the issue here is that the problem with a story like this is that it's constantly releasing new information over time. It's like cracks in the foundation of a house. It's a problem that prolongs the problem because it's not happening at once. It's happening every other day. And the problem, the difference between this and the house is Hillary Clinton can't move out of herself. She is stuck with this, and this is going to keep going on. And it shows the cynical nature of the Clintons. She's like a high school on Sunday. Unprincipled.
I like that. How much ahead did you prepare for that? I like it.
It was about an hour.
Exactly. All right. So, Juan, is this going to be problematic for her, or do you have any problem with it at all?
Well, yeah, I have 2 problems with it. One is, I think that they should have closed this foundation a long time ago. I mean, I just think it invites all sorts of scrutiny and questions about ethics because it looks like quid pro quo on the surface. I mean, I don't care if it's ethical, and I would just reiterate, no evidence of illegality, but it just looks like politicians lining not their own pockets, but at least their reputations and opening the door to favors with their friends. I just don't like it. I just don't like it, whatever. And that's why I was surprised to hear you say, oh, don't close it. Why close it?
Because I want to see what else turns out.
Oh, yeah.
I would really like to know.
It appeals to your conspiracy theories, but it does not. There's no question.
Really a conspiracy theory when you have people who are buying influence, buying access.
There's no evidence of that.
There's clear evidence of that.
No. What Melissa just said is true. You could say that in their minds, they think they're buying access.
At the White House.
But there's no evidence that anybody actually got a favor done.
Again, can I just last thought? I'm sorry, Melissa, but here what I was trying to tell you is I really would like to see the 33,000 emails that are destroyed right now because maybe that's where all the quid pro, the quo of the quid pro quo.
You know what this is?
No,
I mean,
no.
you are scraping and
Melissa.
scratching. I mean, you're just trying to build a conspiracy theory, some reason to have some hope for Donald Trump in this election.
I think the New York
56% of
Times-
America agrees with me, so it's not
No,
that
no,
much
no.
of a
They agree
conspiracy
what? They
theory.
agree with what?
That there's a problem with the Clinton Foundation.
I
They
just
don't
said
trust
that.
it.
You're
They
the
want
one
no
that
more.
doesn't want to close it. I'm the one that wants to close
Don't
it.
worry, Juan. We
I'm
got the
glad you saw it.
transcripts of you from Fox News Sunday. I
Yeah.
saw it and I heard it.
Yeah,
See,
I've been on this record forever.
I agree with Juan. I think that what the New York Times said today is the most devastating because they said that what they're doing is they're giving access to big donors. They're selling access. You can't be the party of the people and say that you're standing up for the poor and then sell access to the highest donors.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. You can't put up a velvet rope and then say your whole purpose for being is you're helping the little guy. It totally undermines their entire philosophy, why they say they're in politics, and it proves that they're hypocrites.
All right, so we got another issue for Clinton right now, the marital drama, Greg, between her longtime top aide, Huma Abedin, and husband Anthony Weiner. Now, here's Donald Trump on that.
But in the case of Anthony Weiner, she's married to a guy that is uncontrolled and uncontrollable. He's a sick person. And, you know, she has access to classified information. Huma Abedin has access to classified information. How Hillary got away with that one, nobody will ever know. But to think that it's very likely that much of this information Anthony Weiner would know about.
Greg.
It's an interesting story. Weiner, this is all self-sabotage. I mean, he knew that if Hillary wins, he wasn't going along for the ride. There was no way he was moving to Washington. He was looking at the big picture, or perhaps the small picture. But here's the bigger issue. He's interesting because he's a compulsive pervert. She's potentially more dangerous, but she's not as interesting or exciting. But her background potentially gives hints that there might be something else going on there, whether with her mother's involvement in that radical Islamic journal. And there's other things going on there that kind of make you wonder what's there. But unfortunately, Anthony Weiner's perverse compulsions, his desire to expose himself constantly, is just more interesting than what may be more dangerous.
All right, Melissa, do you see this as something that is, cause for concern? I mean, certainly something that's relevant is when Huma Abedin has been careless and reckless with classified information, leaving it behind, et cetera,
Exactly.
schedules and otherwise, and that's been documented. But this is a whole other matter that I guess the taint of it is not good for the...
Yes, I don't know. I'm not really sure how you stretch it over into the Clinton camp. I mean, I know that Greg is dying to say Weiner over and over again. And
No.
that's maybe one
No,
of the
I'm
reasons
not- I'm
why
not
we're
that
focusing.
predictable.
No, you're not really. Okay. Well, I don't know that you stretch it all the way to the campaign. I mean, obviously, to me, it shows that Huma Abedin has bad judgment, I guess, but you never know what's going on in anyone's marriage anywhere. So who
Yes,
are we
you
to
do.
judge?
There was a
No, you don't.
documentary on it.
Well, okay.
I know everything about that marriage.
But I'm saying we don't know what's going on in everybody else's marriage. So
But
we're
I
gonna
know
sit
that
here and
one.
We're going to start
You were
judging
invited to the
everybody's
premiere.
marriage about everything.
Okay. All right.
I
Juan, is
don't
this
know.
a problem?
I don't think it's a problem, but what the problem is I can't get over Donald Trump just trying to make politics, make political hay out of the tragedy of this guy's obsession, as you said, Greg, or
Sickness.
perversion, whatever. I mean, he says, oh, this is an opportunity to take a shot at Hillary Clinton. I mean, to me, it's like, wow, leave a disintegrating family alone and a woman in pain alone. And the same thing what happened over the weekend with the shooting in Chicago with Dwayne Wade, the basketball star's cousin. Why is Donald Trump making that into suddenly a political football?
Oh, we talked
I
about
just think
that,
it's
yeah.
terrible.
Well, because there was a political point there. I mean, that was pointing out something that he has been drawing attention to, the idea that you have
No,
all
but
these
I think
failed inner
the
city
larger
policies
point,
that
the
are leading
larger
to this.
point might have some legitimacy, Melissa. But at that moment, you
Yeah, no,
had
the way he did it
somebody
was bad.
dead.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Definitely the way he did it was bad. But.
So on the Anthony Weiner, Huma Abedin, the difference here is that Anthony Weiner clearly doesn't know how to use the internet. He's now failed twice miserably, accidentally sent out a picture of himself to the full internet once when he was trying to direct message someone else. So if he's in on these security briefings, or she has a security briefing, that she tends to leave behind stuff like schedules, and he reads it, and there's the difference, okay? And that's why that's different from the other side. However,
Well, also, he shouldn't be around children the way he behaves.
that's
The
true.
Child
That's
Protective Services.
That's the big issue.
That's not has nothing to do with Hillary or security.
No,
or
but I
anything.
want to put
That's
it
just
out
that.
there for the
Sure.
viewers as a former
Here's
child abuse
the
prosecutor.
hypocrisy of the left,
like
though.
this.
How many times over the last couple of weeks have we heard about Steve Bannon's 20-year-old divorce?
Yeah.
100 times? That shouldn't be in there either, but the left likes to make a lot out of that as well. They're saying, here's a guy who's advising Donald Trump. He's CEO
You know,
of Trump's
this is an
campaign, and they're
example.
talking about a 20-year-old divorce.
Excuse me.
Yet,
Is
Huma Abedin is now a victim?
Excuse me, is Huma Abedin out there saying things like women should get off the internet because they're ruining it for men who
No,
want
but
to say crude things about women? No,
she's being
that's
portrayed
Steve
as the
Bannon's
victim
history.
right now, right?
So Steve Bannon has a history of saying obnoxious things about women. He then is revealed to have had in his divorce proceeding violence against women, and you say, oh, there's no relevance. Of course it's relevant.
No, I'm saying the left is using a 20-year-old case, pulling up,
because
facts
he's now
from 20 years ago. But Huma is somehow.
Wait, hold on. Remember that Donald Trump has a history of saying things that are viewed as misogynistic against women. And so now you have Bannon comes in and he has his own history with women, and you say it's irrelevant.
And Hillary has a history of possibly losing emails.
Oh,
and
here we
being
go.
hacked
Possibly
Right.
this. And
Well, there's something else to talk about, you two. Donald Trump is gearing up for a big speech tomorrow. Remember that? To stave off critics who said that he has flip-flopped on immigration. Rick Perry, one of his former opponents turned supporters, is coming out in defense of the GOP nominee.
Donald Trump's not softening his position on immigration. Donald Trump is going to secure that border in all the different ways that you have to do that. He is committed to not only immigration reform that lets the people in that we want in this country, but those that have come in overstayed their visas, those that have come in that are criminal elements, those individuals are going to be rounded up and dealt with appropriately.
Okay, so is this helpful, Melissa, that Governor Rick Perry, someone who people look to actually for guidance, said that he did a good job in terms of the border and was, on point on that issue?
See, I actually think that this has turned into a Rorschach painting, that Donald Trump is out there with his immigration policy, and it's what you see in the dots. It's however you look at it. And he's kind of maybe this, maybe that, and this one says this, and this one says the other thing. So now, in a way, everybody can see what they want to see. And the people that were afraid that he was racist and he was too far to the right are like, well, he's not really going to do that after all. And everyone maybe at this point hearing what they want to hear. So while everyone's saying it's bad, could be good. Yes.
In terms of a strategy, at least you're
but it exposes people's lack of principles. I mean, yesterday Rush Limbaugh admitted that it really doesn't matter what Trump says, and we've talked about it before. Rush said, I knew he really didn't mean it, so it didn't matter. And people who knew that he didn't mean it got trashed for it. So now I think he should apologize to everybody he's made fun of for sharing the same beliefs he does. And I think, I get it. Perry's, being a good soldier, but, don't Dick Morris the viewer.
Yeah, but you know what amazed me?
Speaking of feet, he's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Dick Morris?
No.
Perry.
Yeah, but I can't believe that Trump basically said, oh, Obama's plan on illegal immigrants is a terrific plan. I mean, to me, how
No, but the difference is he's saying you have to enforce it. I mean, I think that's what
he
we're
says
realizing.
if it was more aggressive, but that's all. No, but he said that's the plan. I just can't believe that out of Donald Trump's mouth comes, oh, Barack Obama has the best immigration plan. Where's Jeb Bush? Where's Marco Rubio? Gang of 8.
He's mad. He's mad.
Speaking of mouths, sometimes what comes out of this one.
Wait,
here.
I did not say that.
On
You
control
did.
of the Brock. Yay for me. Next.
Wait.
What? No. What?
I weigh in on immigration?
Okay. I'm trying to save our show.
I
Go
got
ahead. I'm kidding. Go ahead on immigration.
Let's do this. I'll wait to see what he has to say tomorrow night.
And then you'll see.
Then we'll judge it.
All right. Next, is Russia trying to undermine our presidential election by hacking into our voting systems? It appears so. The FBI's director addressed that very concerning threat this morning. We're going to tell you all the details we have ahead. Stay with us.
Some very serious new concerns about Russia attempting to meddle with our presidential election. The FBI is now investigating the hacking of election systems in both Arizona and Illinois and has issued a warning to state election officials nationwide to beef up their cybersecurity measures. U.S. officials suspect Russian hackers were behind the breach. FBI Director Jim Comey was questioned about it today at a cybersecurity conference.
We take very seriously any effort by any actor, including nation states, maybe especially nation states, that moves beyond the collection of information about our country and that offers the prospect of an effort to influence the conduct of affairs in our country, whether that's an election or something else.
Moscow-backed hackers have already been blamed for leaking those documents and emails stolen from the DNC. Also, earlier this month, our Homeland Security chief warned about this exact issue. Listen.
We are actively thinking about election cybersecurity right now. We should carefully consider whether our election system, our election process, is critical infrastructure, like the financial sector, like the power grid. This is something that we're very focused on right at the moment.
Okay, Greg, Russians are very interested in our elections.
Yes,
What's
the
going on?
FBI should warn Hillary, have her change her password from, Chelsea Mom 2016, because she's the one that's got the problem. You know what worries me? It's not the hacking and the leaking. It's the hacking, the doctoring, and the leaking. So they can hack your system. They can take mundane information, and then they can insert deviant stuff. This is my excuse. Insert deviant stuff into your emails or attach images, because that's what they're going to do. They're not just going to hack. They're going to doctor. That's the nature of cyber terror.
Look at Bowen.
I just got it. I just bailed Anthony Weiner out.
Yeah,
it's the Russians.
It's the Russians.
They hacked his Twitter account.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And
that's what he said the first time he had been hacked. Remember that?
Yeah, but he was
not by the
Breitbart
Russians.
Pushed him on that. I'm sorry, Greg.
No, but anyway, I don't think they're going to do this to the Republicans too. So because the Russians don't see divides, they don't see Democrat Republicans. They just see America, and it's a disruption of our system is what they want.
I'm wondering what high-tech voter system they're going to be hacking into. The last time I went to vote in New York City, I mean, it looked like they had moved over people from Occupy Wall Street. I mean, they were sitting there. They couldn't find my name in the list. They gave it to me when I gave them the ballot. I was certain they were throwing it in the garbage behind them. It was a disaster. It took forever. People left in the middle. There was nothing official about it. I was trying to keep a straight face because I had brought my son to show him the civic duty, and I am certain that my vote did not get counted.
Thompson?
So hacking into what? I mean, they had pieces of they had a piece of paper and they were like, there you go, and they just put it in. They literally chucked it in a basket behind them when I left.
Don't we hear this every 4 years?
Not like this year, because what happened with the DNC, the hacking, and the consensus among the national security, people, the top intelligence folks in the country, is that the Russians were behind the hacking of the Democrats, not the Republicans. And then, of course, you had the Debbie Wasserman Schultz fallout.
Hack or a leak?
Well, no, that was the hack. It was the hack that led to the leak. But what I'm saying is here you have a situation now. Melissa is lamenting the fact that it's somewhat antiquated of a system. In fact, that's somewhat protective, because they can't hack old systems. And you can't hack when you've got paper involved and you create a paper trail where you can count. The danger here is the Russians get involved and they start saying, hey, guess what? We know that Eric Bolling is voting for Donald Trump, so we're going to leave him there. But that Juan Williams, that guy, I think that guy's a Democrat. We'll pull his name out. So all of a sudden, Juan shows up. He can't vote.
Do you see
Eric
this?
shows up and he can vote.
I love how even Russians say, guess what?
Yeah.
How do you say that in Russian?
Well, you know me, I'm a
like
Rusty.
Juan.
Just like me. Who knew? A black Russian.
Favorite drink?
Bring some.
Everybody looks Russian these days.
Well, I want KG to put some
so let me
KG on it.
put a little KG flavor on this. So when I went to go vote, it was much like Melissa's experience. It was like Jurassic Park meets Star Wars bar scenes. A little Jabba Binks, a little Velociraptor, and no confidence that this was going to actually get counted.
Exactly.
I had to show them 5 times. Nope, there's my name right there. Nope, I got to vote. Same thing. And I brought Ronan, and it's like, what goes on around here? He's like, this doesn't look good at all. These people should all be fired. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So that didn't work well. But now imagine this is going to be a very dangerous situation for this election, because if they look at voting patterns and they don't match kind of the past ones, and we see wild swings, then we could be in another Bush-Gore, whole situation all over again. Re-enter the hanging Chad.
Are we saying that the Russians want Donald Trump to win? Is that what you're saying?
The hanging Russian Chad.
I don't have to say it. I mean, Donald Trump says he says he asked the Russians to hack
Don't you remember Hillary saying, "Don't worry, we're going to reset. Don't as soon as the election is over." She may be as close to the Russians.
I think that was another election.
Yeah, it was.
To your point, no one can be worse on these elections than us. When I was registered in Pennsylvania, I lived there for 10 years. My name was Greg Buttfeld.
Well, it's still in any circle.
I had to go there and find my voting card just to show that I'm Gutfeld, but it says Buttfeld.
Can I tell you one quick anecdotal story? I dropped my son off at college. The minute there's only freshmen, so these are all brand new 18-year-olds. They had to have 200 people running around signing them up to vote. Every single one of them Hillary Clinton button supporters. Hillary Clinton supporters.
That's a bad
signing
sign
them
for
up.
Trump.
And I looked over my shoulder and I watched him, and I never said a word to him before in my life about what you are, Republican, Democrat. He checked off Republican. I was like, wow, good job. But they all had Hillary stuff on. I'm not even sure that's legal.
You just like ruined his like
his
buzzkill at
I
college
don't
now.
think it's
be a little
they're watching
different,
right
buddy.
now.
You know what?
Poor Eric
He
Chase.
loves his dad.
All right, we'll leave it there. All right, ahead. New fallout from quarterback Colin Kaepernick's decision to sit out the national anthem in protest. Donald Trump's got a great idea for the 49er, unhappy with America. Hear that next.
49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick has upset a lot of people, a lot of Americans, with his refusal to stand during the national anthem at a preseason game on Friday. Kaepernick said he doesn't want to show pride in a flag for a country that, quote, oppresses black people and people of color. He's still getting a lot of critical feedback, especially in the sports world. Seattle cornerback Richard Sherman, who has taken issue with the Black Lives Matter movement in the past, is weighing in on the controversy.
There is also a deeper meaning to what he did. You know, he's talking about the oppression of African Americans in this country, and that has been going on for a long time. And I think, you know, a lot of the focus has shifted away from his message and shifted, you know, to some people rightfully so, to him taking a stand against the nation, et cetera, et cetera. So there is some depth and some truth in what he was doing. You know, I think he could have picked a better platform and a better way to do it.
Donald Trump's got an idea what Kaepernick should do if he isn't happy with America.
I think it's personally not a good thing. I think it's a terrible thing, and you know, he'll maybe he should find a country that works better for him. Let him try. It won't happen.
Well, let me start with you, KG. What do you think of Donald Trump, who is so critical of America? You know, the country's falling apart.
I don't think he's critical of America.
I
think that we
at
can
the
do
GOP
better,
convention,
I
never saw such a dark vision of America.
I don't know.
But anyway, he says
he
says Kaepernick, for being critical, should get out. What do you think?
Well, listen, you know, he's entitled to say what he wants to say. That's because we have people who have fought and died on the battlefield to be able for all of us to sit here and give our opinion without fear of reprisal besides Twitter, right? So what I do know today is that I was at the Jets at the wonderful charity luncheon with Woody Johnson and all the Jets players there, and their quarterback spoke, and he was elegant and interesting and eloquent and delivered a very passionate speech and talked about the game. And I was saying, you know what, this is fantastic. I was so impressed with the quality and the characters of the individuals there. And then I go back, my 49er team, what's going on, Colin? I mean, what are you doing? You've been given so much opportunity in this life. Why don't you help bring us together? Why do you have to sit down? I think it's such an affront to the men and women who have served. If you want, take it to Twitter. But you know what? Stand. You've got two legs to stand on because other people have lost theirs.
Well, so, Eric, I think part of what Drew Brees, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, says is, look, this is about recognizing the military, picking up on what Kimberly was talking about. I don't necessarily see it as immediately attached to the military. I think, I'm a proud American. I would just say honor the flag, even if you have complaints. But is it only about the military?
Well, the flag represents the freedoms that Kimberly points out, the people who have died. How many wounded warriors have lost both limbs and would love to be able to stand for the national anthem? They can't. Two thoughts: $6 million, 6-year, $114 million contract Kaepernick signed for. Where else in the world besides America can you do that? Maybe a couple other European countries. Stand for the flag. And you want to talk about oppression? He's saying.
Wait a minute. You're not saying stand for the flag because he gets paid a lot of money.
No, because it's the greatest country on the planet.
Oh, well, I agree with that.
Because the land of opportunity, even with bad stats, you get paid.
In solidarity with people who are oppressed in America, right? What about the people those wounded warriors got wounded fighting? The people who are fighting countries, Sharia law countries, where women are oppressed, truly oppressed, and gays are murdered. Those people died for that flag, for that reason, for the freedoms that we have here. Stand for the flag, Colin.
All right, so, Melissa, the contrary argument is we've had everything from a women's rights movement in this country to a civil rights movement to a gay rights movement. Every time we, as America, change, and our great country allows that change, it's because of people who protest, and Kaepernick stands in that tradition. Do you buy it?
I don't, because I just think it feels very small. I mean, I know he's getting a lot of media attention for it, but he's somebody who makes $19 million a year. There's a lot of things he could do in terms of outreach, in terms of charitable deeds, things that people didn't have to see. Or you could make a big splash, you know, making a big gesture. You know, I mean, he could go out and be a role model. He could advocate. He could make speeches. He could go into communities.
He could
have
some
interns.
games.
I mean, he could bring people onto the field with him. There are a million different things he could do.
Yeah.
But if instead to sit instead of standing, you know, to me it seems almost lazy and small and attention getting. And I don't know, and on himself, as opposed to on, here's the issue that I'm upset about and here's what I'm going to do to fix it. Instead, he's choosing to just, you know,
well, and you saw the
down.
pictures on the internet of the soldier who lost both his limbs, and he's literally he's amputated where his legs would be, standing up like that. I mean, just when you think about that, it just puts things in perspective. And I think Dr. King, if he were alive today, he wouldn't disrespect the flag or the anthem. He would use his words and his voice to send a message for positive change, and that's the difference.
So Greg, Spike Lee, the director, says, wait a second, in fact, Kaepernick is operating the tradition of Muhammad Ali, who refused to go to Vietnam, as you know. He's operating the tradition of John Carlos and Tommy Smith, who stood at the Olympics with their fists raised, again, to protest America's treatment of minorities. What do you say?
I pledge I will not stand until Spike Lee makes a good film. All right. Two points here to make. I think Colin is a genius. He put America through a logic experiment. So what if you sit down during an anthem to protest an oppressive state? But if you are allowed to sit down during an anthem to protest an oppressive state, the state, therefore, is not oppressive. So by sitting down, he actually proved himself wrong, because in other countries like North Korea or wherever you want, Cuba, you would get killed. What's more interesting to me about this fella is in a recent press conference, he didn't just wear the Malcolm X hat, he wore the Fidel Castro shirt. So basically, mentally, he is someone currently fetishizing radicalism, right? He's turning radicalism into a fetish. It's a phase. He's like a girl discovering Bieber for the first time. He's been in Arrested Development.
Guys like Bieber, too. Look at bowling.
Yeah, that's true. But don't tell me I got to go. I'm not done yet. When an athlete goes through a delayed adolescence because he's been playing sports all of his life, it's also with celebrities and actors. They get to a certain age where they lose their relevance in their career, and they go, I want to be known for something else. And so he gets the hat, he gets the shirt, he's got Fidel Castro, and he realizes it's great for his name because it's all over cable news. And that's what he's got. And he can't get cut because then he's cut for political reasons.
What's very important, though, is that he will be sitting on that same bench the whole season anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't going to start. Maybe he would have a different attitude if he did risk that starting position.
You know what's
Some people think he is risking it because obviously
he's
there's
not.
some
No, he's
things
not
he
risking
don't
anything.
like.
I will tell you this too. One thing that I forgot to leave out. He also said that Hillary should go to jail. We forgot about that.
Yeah, right.
Kind of an interesting...
He's all over the map.
the producer still in your ear
We can't
again?
cover all that Colin Kaepernick is up to. Next.
There's so much evil in this world. War, famine, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And now, team mascots. Apparently, one such beast doesn't express enough emotional diversity and must be changed. I speak of Herky the Hawk, seen here looking evil, from the University of Iowa, whose static grimace has upset one professor enough for her to write to school officials, claiming Herky's smirky traumatizes students. Professor Resmi Oral believes new students need happy faces, not angry, violence-inciting ones. She writes, quote, I plead with you to allow Herky to be like one of us, sometimes sad, sometimes happy, sometimes angry. She's right. Look at that face. It's not inviting. I wouldn't want to eat that at Chick-fil-A. It seems so angry, like an angry bird. Angry birds, we should ban them too. Imagine what that's doing to your children. Fact is, these days, everything is offensive, from common words to costume birds. It's why we need trigger warnings and safe spaces to protect us from these microaggressions. The world is so scary, it seems the best thing you can do these days is not be born. So is it possible that a student might actually think Herky is a real, actual monstrous hawk with a grudge and not just some classmate in a costume? It's possible. All this psychological coddling is turning kids into fearful worms. worms. Maybe they should be scared of birds. Juan, scary mascot? Like the Redskins?
Yeah, well, no, actually, the guy who used to dress up as was the chief died this summer. So I don't know what they're going to do about that.
Way to bring it down.
But they do have lovely,
I know, right?
lovely dancers.
Yes.
yes. You know what so I had two thoughts about this. One is that I generally prefer the Philly Fanatic or, the San Diego Chicken happy crazy guys, who hopping around. That guy just looks scary to me. It doesn't bother me, but I love what you had to say because I think this is a legitimate trend from, that you highlight, which is microaggressions, trigger warnings, safe spaces. University of Chicago this week came out and said, not doing it. If you're coming here, you're going to be a big boy.
Yeah, you got to grow up, Kimberly.
I love University of Chicago. I should go back there.
Do you like the 49er mascot, the little gold? Was it
Somebody
grave? I said gold digger.
Him too. He's scary because he has a weapon. No, he's not a grave digger.
He's a gold
digger.
Tanner. Yes.
Whatever.
Miner.
Yes.
It's called a miner.
We're 49er fans, and they're 49ers, and we can't even think of the name. What's wrong with us?
Digger.
I don't know. I'm lost back in the days of Joe Montana and Dwight Clark and Ronnie Lott and
Steve
Roger
Young.
Craig and
Steve
Charles
Young. I love Steve
Haley
Young.
and Steve Young.
So hot.
John Taylor, the most underrated receiver. Jerry Rice, of course.
Jerry Rice.
Rice is amazing.
Catch. All right.
Did we talk about Steve Young yet?
Colin, what have you done for us lately? Yeah, we said Steve Young.
Okay, good.
And he also highly intelligent, was a prosecutor, got his law degree. Anyway,
Very cute.
back to the scary bird.
Right.
This goes on to connect to the whole thing where you've got to ban all the Halloween costumes.
Yes.
No one can be the sushi chef. No one can be any of the Angry Birds because that might offend someone. It's a joke. There's going to be nothing left to be but Trump.
Exactly.
Hillary.
Oh. We actually almost have Trump as our mascot at Harvard. It's this angry pilgrim. He looks furious. He's angry white man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe they should do away with that. What do you think, Eric?
I'll let you finish. I wrote a book about this, these trigger warnings, safe spaces. It was good news to hear University of Chicago, very liberal university, pushing back on the trigger warnings and safe spaces. But I'll tell you, the scariest thing in Iowa right now, no joke right now, is the price of corn. Corn is crushing the state of Iowa, right?
Whoa.
You know what's going on?
Oh, wait, you know how we made that
30% drop in the price of corn in the last month, and that is it's killing farmers right now. And by the way, we should do a segment on the farm subsidies. That would be very interesting.
My farmers.
They're getting creamed.
I do.
Very good.
That was
I love creamed corn.
Bolling just avoided that. He avoided the Fox and Friends segment we were trying to do and turned it into
in the afternoon.
Yeah, Fox and Friends.
Fox and Fiends, that's what they call us.
Dancing with the Stars revealed its full cast for season 23 this morning. I know I was waiting with bated breath. Our buddy Geraldo gave it his best shot last season. We remember that. But this time around, stars like 90s rapper Vanilla Ice will be vying for the Mirrorball Trophy. So will Maureen McCormick. You remember her as Marsha Brady, and former presidential candidate Rick Perry as well. Also set to cut a rug, the Olympian who cut out of Rio as fast as he could after lying about a robbery, Ryan Lochte. The swimmer appeared on GMA this morning.
It's everyone blowing this way out of proportion. I think that's what happened. And, like I said, I did lie about that one part, and I take full responsibility. I'm human. I made a mistake. This is perfect with the show because I want to put that behind me. I'm never the one to dwell on the past. I would just want to move forward.
All right.
Okay, so he dyed his hair. So obviously, Kimberly, he's on a straight and narrow now, and he's going on Dancing with the Stars. So perfect celebrity rehab. I think he's all set. Ryan Lochte, yeah, good.
Yeah, well, he's ready to be like the comeback kid. Why not? That's what we do in America.
By dancing.
What?
By dancing?
Well, but he's a great athlete. I'm quite certain he can dance. I mean, don't you think he can use his arms at least and his legs in some fashion?
Maybe. Okay. Vanilla Ice? No. You think he's going to win the Mirrorball?
No. I have some advice for Rick Perry, though.
I love Vanilla Ice.
Avoid Rick Perry. Avoid the 3-step because you might forget the 3rd step.
Oh.
Very nice. Well done. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, but Bolling, we love
all you
Vanilla
got.
Ice.
Ice.
We had him, Ice baby. Ding, ding, ding,
It doesn't matter because the winner's already been decided.
Oh, who's that?
Lori Hernandez.
Oh, she's
Are you
great.
kidding me? I mean, you want to talk about a ringer?
Yeah,
That's what she does for. She dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good.
Not Amber Rose?
I don't know. I'll go with Lori Hernandez.
Juan Williams, do you like Amber Rose? Is that who you were thinking
No,
was going to win?
Be
I was
very
sitting
careful,
here
gentlemen,
in between.
here.
I was just asking, what is her talent? I don't know, but I mean, she's but she's a beautiful woman, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, I don't know who
She busts up relationships? That's her
Kanye's
talent.
ex.
Kanye's ex.
Yeah.
Got it.
You know, I was
saw him
interested.
today.
I was interested
Shopping.
that Babyface Edmonds.
Yes.
I think he's now has a great talent. I'm surprised to see his name in there, and Lori Hernandez. But Rick Perry, when he was running for president, part of the issue was that he had a bad back. So I guess he's been a tremendous recovery.
Yeah, good for him. He's such a nice guy. I like him a lot. He was nice when he came on our show.
Oh, he's a very nice guy.
Fantastic.
He might be the first one out, though. That's always interesting to see who gets a live.
Bowling's
Poor
ready.
Geraldo is number one.
Poor Geraldo. Remember,
I don't know.
Geraldo told me they
What do you
wanted
think,
me to
Bowling?
go on there.
I think Lori
should go on
Hernandez
and win.
is a lock to win.
Oh, right, you said that.
I think lock.
Not
is a
Marsha,
lock.
Marsha? Maybe? Oh, all right. One more thing's coming up next.
It's time now for one more thing. Eric, what say you?
Before I do my one more thing very quickly, numbers are in the books right now. August, Fox was number one, 176 straight months as number one, and they were number one in all the basic cable, not just news. Also, beating MSNBC and CNN combined, and O'Reilly, 189 months, number one. Okay, one more thing. Ready for this? It's called the greatest play of all time, even better than Clementi's catch in right field, better than Mays' catch over his shoulder in center field. It was Rick Monday in 1976, Cubs at Dodger Stadium. Take a look. Here it is right here. Two guys run on the field. That's an American flag. One guy is putting lighter fluid on the American flag. Another guy comes up ready to light the flag on fire. Rick Monday comes from center field, grabs the flag. There is a patriotic young man right there. And he was an ex-Marine, spent 6 years in the Marines. That's why he didn't want the flag burned. Rick Monday respected the flag. Best play ever.
God bless him. That was a good one, boy.
That was a good one.
Very good. Greg, yours is not going to be, I don't think, is it?
Yeah. Greg's secret to happiness. You know, there's nothing more soothing when you're down than the smell of a brand new tennis ball. Let's admit it. We've taken the can and just inhaled it for hours.
What a weirdo.
As this fellow knows, you can never get enough tennis balls. And if you're ever feeling sad, life isn't giving you lemons, fill up a bucket full of tennis balls, have yourself a ball. Look at
You look so happy.
Greg, it's your stunt double.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Way to attack my looks.
Sorry.
My goodness.
Trigger
You look
warning.
like a happy
trigger.
boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so it's 70 days until the big election in November, but today is also election day, and we've got some very hot races for you to keep an eye on tonight. The first up one, John McCain. The senator is facing what he calls his toughest primary challenge of his 29 years in the Senate. His challenger, Kelly Ward, who made news recently by saying the 80-year-old senator too old to be reelected. So keep an eye on that one. In Florida, we've got two hot races for you. Senator Marco Rubio, facing a challenge from a pro-Trump opponent in the primary. It looks like he'll win easily, but have a close race against the Democrats in November. The Democrats likely to be Patrick Murphy. Also in Florida, former DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz in a very tough primary race for her congressional seat. She was ousted from her DNC chairmanship, if you recall, due to email revelations, and she still remains one of the most polarizing political figures, not only in the country, but within her own party.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. It almost made me lose my appetite, but nothing can, because it's time for Kimberly's Food Court.
Oh, I like that.
Bum, 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 bum. All right, fine. So Papa John's has done something amazing besides their fantastic, delicious pizzas. Yes, you are able to now order a pizza on your iPhone app, and they do it with your Papa John account to locate and deliver your delicious pizza. So we tried it out. Shall we, folks? Feast your eyes on this. There is one production problem here. Sean, my sweet producer, forgot to put my favorite pepperoni or salami on my cheese pizza, but nevertheless, we're going to have some. Melissa, you're interested?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wait,
Everybody touch it while it's on the way. I ordered Domino's on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Ritchie said in a statement, we're attracted to Apple TV because of its commitment to innovation and customer experience. Two priorities.
This is not a real story.
Excuse me. I interrupted me while I'm
You
talking
just
to
wanted to have
mouthful.
pizza.
That's going to be it for us today.
Ooh,
We're going to share our
Eat the
pizza.
whole pie.
Special report is next, and we'll have a slice.